So do you remember this phenomenon back in it was probably the 90s into the 2000s? We'd see in every corporate office everywhere, meeting rooms, we'd have these motivational posters. They were like the black border, and they'd have a picture of something a skydiving team, and it'd be some kind of motivational phrase teamwork. When we all get together, great things happen, and then it evolved later on into.
Of course, it becomes a meme.
It becomes a meme eventually because those things are stupid. And one of my favorite meme versions of that is where you had a picture of a bunch of people's hands in together like this, and it was meetings. All of us is dumber than none of us.
I do remember those.
Yeah, and I bring this up because today. For work, I spent most of the day in a giant conference room with my entire department, having our annual, what I call our planning to plan session for our work for the next year. Now, I should mention, I love the people that I work with. There's not a single person that I dislike. I like all the people that I'm lucky enough to work for an excellent company, a great part of that organization. It doesn't have anything to do with any of that. These in-person meetings, man, they drain my soul. I'm like, we could do this over email. I promise you we could do this over email.
Now, to be fair, what you're wearing right this minute, which is a flannel shirt over a V-neck.
This is true.
Would be extremely dressed up for how you go to work every day in your office, which is in the basement.
That's fair. I'm lucky enough to work from home, so
you
yeah.
I work hybridly.
Yeah.
So I feel your pain. Sometimes I wish I could go in one day a week, and that would be the max that I would have to go in.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, if I need to talk to my boss and I can stick my head in his door and we can brainstorm for a minute, that's way more efficient than a phone call.
Liar. No.
And I'm reminded.
I'm not having this argument for you. I've heard this
of Cliff Clavin from Cheers.
Uh-huh.
When he goes, there's a little known fact there, Normie. There's a little known fact that, and I'm making this up to make a different point.
Okay.
That in-person work is more efficient than work from home situations.
Okay.
I don't think that is actually factually true, but
I'm sure there's plenty of studies out there that have tried to convince both sides. But go ahead.
And if you have a thought on this or a statistic on it, we'd like to hear from you in the comments. But
I don't need to hear it. I know what I prefer.
I was reading this David French column in the New York Times the other day, and I really took something from it. And I'm just going to read it for you. And this goes along with your feeling here.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot fact check a person out of a feeling, and without question, the people I talked to felt deep in their bones that something had gone fundamentally wrong in the United States of America and in their lives. And a dry recitation of contrary facts not only did nothing to assuage this feeling of fear or loss, it was positively enraging. Cringe, in a word. And so I made a Facebook post about that the other day, and I was just, we were talking about this as we do, we pre-production would be the wrong word for it.
Yeah, it's not really. It's texting.
We were talking about this. I was like, I want to talk about this in the cold, because the more I've thought about it, it doesn't matter how many facts that are actual verifiable facts, studies done by scholars, whatever you present to somebody that feels a different way, there is no changing their minds. And I'm not talking about just the 80 IQ folks of the world. I'm talking about everybody, 160 down to 80.
I think I would say I probably fall into one of those hard-headed categories on a lot of things. Yeah, I think that's probably right.
And you're smart, and I'm not saying that just to be nice. You are actually a smart guy. You have a college degree and have been thinking at a high level philosophically. I know you for how many years? 25 years.
Yeah.
But I think the more I think about that, it's like, what's the point? Which is often what I think of this podcast and what tens of viewers think of it sometimes too. What's the point?
Yeah.
But it does make me think, like, I want to know the stats, but I guess if I feel differently, it'd be hard to persuade me otherwise.
That's right. You're not going to convince me that it's more. You're not going to convince me it's more efficient for me to go into a meeting.
And I feel like the Bengals could have been good this year.
Yeah.
But their record says different.
We'll have a talk about it. Maybe we need to have a meeting about this. We'll schedule a meeting.
Text only.
And, yeah, text only. Only over email. We are just two middle-aged refugees from Generation X.
Man, we grew up in a time that was a lot simpler than it is today.
Could we gamble on sports back then?
No, not really. We did, but not legally. But now?
Now we can, and we can talk about it on a podcast, and we can talk about a lot of other things too.
And we're going to. I'm Lanny.
And I'm Andrew.
And this is Bet Small,
Lose Small.
It's getting serious in the NFL. Like, it's getting really serious.
It was elimination week this week.
It was actually the best weekend of football that we've had, like, as far as being viewers, in several weeks.
It was a momentous week. Like, besides all the teams that were eliminated, and we'll go through them in just a second here. Also, the devastating, like, landscape-changing injuries.
Oh, huge.
To
all over the place.
Mahomes and to Micah Parsons, just to name a couple. I know that there were a few others that I can't remember right off the top of my head right now. We'll get into them as we go through here. We eliminated 8 teams. We eliminated 7 teams in the AFC. We eliminated 6 teams in the NFC. So the playoff picture is starting to tighten up now. There's 10 teams still eligible. One of them is technically the Cowboys, which, sorry guys, you're fucked.
They're done. You're fucked.
You're fucked, man. Baltimore is still hanging on there at the bottom of the number 9 spot in the AFC at 7-7. I think they might have some issues for it too. But how do you want to do this? You want to go through and just kind of recap these games?
Let's start with the Thursday night game. The Buccaneers. Okay. They have the wheels have been coming off the Bucs for weeks now, and they finally officially fell off, losing at home to the Falcons in a throwback performance, I guess you could say.
What constitutes a throwback performance for Kirk Cousins?
When's the last time that Kirk Cousins looked good? 3 years ago?
Let's see. It wasn't last year's first year in Atlanta. It was probably 3 years ago. Actually, before he tore his Achilles that last year in Minnesota, he was looking pretty good.
So he looked really good against the Bucs. It looked like he belonged. It looked like they were finally getting the Kirk Cousins that they, wanted a long time ago before they drafted Michael Penix.
That's assuming they ever even actually wanted Kirk Cousins because of the way they immediately drafted Penix. But
the Bucs though are now. They are standings, but
they are tied. Let's see. The Bucs are now tied at 7-7 with Carolina on top of the NFC South. That is essentially what's going to happen there is one of those teams is going to win the division. The other one is going home.
Yeah.
That's the worst. Is it the worst division? I don't know. NFC North.
The
AFC North is pretty bad. But whoever wins that division, we got 3 weeks to go now between Tampa Bay and Carolina.
And they play each other twice.
Yeah.
To end the season. Yeah. So every one of those is loser leaves town for them.
Tampa Bay just gacked this game away against Atlanta. It was one of those. It was a sloppy. It was a sloppy Baker game. Yeah, Cousins looked good. Pitts all of a sudden looked like Kyle Pitts looked like he was supposed to all this time.
Like a 6'5", 250 pound receiver.
Yeah, like an Adonis as a tight end. Yeah, and he has like 3 or 4 of those a year, which I would argue is not enough for the amount of hype that came with him out of college.
I would agree with you, but when you look like David Boston and you don't play like David Boston, then there's a problem.
Natural David Boston or
no
enhanced David Boston?
David Boston.
Okay.
Jacked to the gills.
Jacked up.
He's got needle tracks from the GHB and whatever else he's doing. Bills, Patriots. We're watching this game Sunday. And I remember distinctly when the Bills go down 21-0, right? Mm-hmm. I text you or you text me. We've got a running thread going. You're like, well, they're not winning this.
We most likely texted each other at the same time because I think my text was, well, the Bills are fucked. And you texted me like almost immediately, and I could tell that you were writing it as I was writing mine because you were like, they're not winning this game. I was like, nope, they're not.
They're not winning this game.
Because it looked from the outset like
they looked overmatched for 20 minutes.
This is another one of those things. Okay, let me put this to you from a Bills fan perspective. This should make me feel a lot better than it does, which is what I can say for almost all of the Bills' wins this year. I don't understand why we have to spot everyone 21 points every game. Like, is this just do we just need to up? Does the challenge level need to be raised? I don't understand what's going on. Like, is this a thing where they don't lock in until their backs are against the wall? I don't get it. They can't keep doing this. The reason that we said to each other they're done at 21 down is because you can do it against some of the shitty teams. You can't do it against the Patriots. You shouldn't be able to do it.
What have we been saying, though, about the Patriots all year? What have we been saying?
Haven't played anybody.
They have not played a good team yet. Or maybe they played one good team. I mean, the Bengals beat the Patriots early in the season. Yeah. When the Bengals were at full power.
Yeah.
That should tell you what you need to know about the Patriots.
Yeah, and I think the Drake May,
he's come a long way. He will get MVP votes. I don't think he is the MVP, but he'll get votes. Mike Vrabel will get Coaching of the Year votes. I agree with you that if it's not Kyle Shanahan, I don't know who it is.
I don't understand. I saw something today that
maybe Sean Payton.
Well, I saw something today that the top 4 coaches for Coach of the Year. It's like Vrabel is like 40%. I don't know what these percentages meant, but it was like Vrabel, Mike McDonald in Seattle. I'm trying to think of the other two. The point is, Kyle Shanahan nowhere to be found on this list.
I don't understand
what? I don't how. Look at their record. Look at the schedule that they played.
Look at their roster.
He had Mac Jones playing solid, competent. Like, he probably made Mac Jones like $40 million this year.
I agree. I'm with you, and I'm not a big 49ers fan. They beat the Bengals in the Super Bowl twice, so they can go eat a bag of dicks as far as I'm concerned.
Well, we've veered off course here because when it comes to the Bills, Josh Allen just started doing Josh Allen things in the second half.
He's unstoppable.
But why do they have to do? I don't understand why they have to do
I don't
this.
know why, but they do.
Okay. Well, I don't know what it says about the Bills as a team. Their defense is still scary bad until it's not. And then, but you never really know when that's going to happen.
Here's the good news. You have an outside shot at the number 1 seed.
Sure.
But you definitely have a chance to host throughout the playoffs except for the AFC Championship.
True.
So take that for what it is. We will move on to the Ravens-Bengals, and we're going to spend some time here too.
Okay. Here we go.
Oh,
here we go. Let's go, Lanny. Let's hear it.
2 weeks in a row. The Bengals season on the line. Their quarterback, who is not having fun anymore, as Shawn Michaels once did many, many years ago, lost his smile. Joe Burrow is not having fun. And he's saying weird shit. Not Joey Votto weird shit, but pretty weird shit. And to get on Joey Votto's level, you have to be certifiably insane.
It's a high bar. Joey Votto set. he certainly set the bar high for Cincinnati athletes.
But Joe Burrow, who's making a gajillion dollars, I'd have to look up his contract, but he's 15% of their salary cap.
Sure. Yeah.
He's saying weird shit, and he's not having fun. And I'll just remind you that Andrew Luck retired at the same age after getting the shit kicked out of him for about 8 years, 7 years. There's also trade talk.
All right. First of all, before you go, because I'm gonna lose my fucking mind when you get.
I'm gonna lose my.
And I'm just gonna let you go. But I want to say one thing: Joe Burrow is not retiring. That is not in Joe Burrow's DNA. I'm telling you right now. That guy is not retiring from football. He does not have quit in him.
I'm not saying he does. I'm just saying weird shit's happen.
I think some of that interview was taken out of context. Those things he said.
Taken out of context.
But I'm just going to leave it at that. Now we need to get into the other things, because this started with some poking and prodding from some of our worst fantasy football league colleagues on Sunday.
Well,
when the shit started being thrown against against the Bengals wall, just you go ahead, you do your thing, and I'm
not. You think I'm going to advocate for Joe Burrow being traded, and what I am going to advocate for is Joe Burrow being traded. So here's my issue with this. And we run this little simulated fantasy basketball league. And I know from like literally hundreds of sim years, I know this is not the same and it does not sell tickets. But we saw this with Carson Palmer when he was unhappy in Cincinnati and forced to trade. They didn't get enough out of that trade. Joe Burrow's value will never be higher than what it is right now. And I heard on another podcast from a nationally known podcaster that they think he's only worth a quarterback prospect and 1 first-round pick. Now, I think that's ludicrous. But okay. I said to you, the Herschel Walker deal, if I could get a Herschel Walker deal for him, I would take it.
Okay. So you're saying something in the neighborhood of like two to three first-round picks. Now, the Herschel Walker deal was 3 first-round picks and 3 second-round picks.
Yes.
No one is getting that. Like,
no one's giving that for a 29-year-old quarterback.
There's maybe you might get that for Mahomes or Josh Allen, and I'd be surprised.
The biggest part. What did I hear today? Ability. The best ability is availability.
Okay. All right. Look.
Now are the Bengals derelict in putting an offensive line around Joe Burrow? Yes.
Okay. Listen, first of all, this is one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever heard in my life.
No,
all right?
It isn't. No, it isn't.
It is. Okay, listen. You're talking about it's okay, let's just say for shits and giggles here that you can get, let's just say 2 first-round picks. And if you remember back a few years ago when the Ravens franchised Lamar, the compensation if somebody else signed him away was 2 first-round picks, okay? Which apparently Atlanta had the opportunity to do and had the means to do, and they declined to do so. Multiple other teams could have just given up 2 first-round picks for Lamar and didn't do it. So the chances that you're getting 2 first-round picks for Joe Burrow are minuscule.
Okay.
And if you can't get that, then you don't trade a quarterback like Joe Burrow.
I agree with you.
Okay.
I agree with you on that. But
okay.
I'm saying I'm entertaining the option of trading him.
Okay. So let's just say that you can get 2 first-round picks. Now, throw out for a second the fact that you would be giving this Bengals organization 2 first-round picks to flush down the toilet.
Fair.
Or shove up their butts or put into a garbage disposal.
They won't pay them. I mean, they'll like try to be the cheapest possible.
Okay.
Whatever. Go on.
I just want to run through here. Let's say let's say they find a competent general manager and everything is running correctly and the Bengals become an organization that suddenly figures out how to draft well and evaluate quarterbacks who are not dropped in their laps like Joe Burrow. I want to read off to you all of the quarterbacks that have been drafted since Joe Burrow was taken with the first overall pick in 2020. Okay. Right. Immediately after him, 5 picks later, was Tua. Then Justin Herbert. I would say he's pretty good.
Yeah.
Jordan Love was drafted later in that first round. The next year, the 2021 draft, we had Trevor Lawrence drafted first overall. I would say the jury's still out. I don't know. We're gonna get
if you could get Lawrence on a competent or Lawrence on a first, would you take that for Burrow?
Trevor Lawrence in a first for Burrow?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not getting sucked in by Trevor Lawrence just yet.
All
But
right.
we're going to get to him
All right,
later.
go on.
Then we had Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Mac Jones. This is all in 2021. Let's see. That was all in the first round. Here, the next season, the 2022 draft, we didn't have really any quarterbacks in that draft. Kenny Pickett went 20th to the Steelers. In the 2023 draft, which I suppose is getting close to the point where you can't really evaluate these guys just yet, we had Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson.
C.J. Stroud is pretty good.
C.J. Stroud is okay
Anthony
so far.
Richardson, I think the jury's still out.
That's the jury is coming back with a verdict pretty quickly on that one. That one's there. We just got the phone call that the jury's in. Everybody's heading to the courthouse.
Okay.
And then in 2024, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May. We also had J.J. McCarthy and
Okay.
Michael Penix in that first round. Bo Nix went in that first round. So there were some good quarterbacks in there. My point is, best case scenario, you have a 50-50 shot to get something that even resembles a franchise quarterback. Not like to the level of Joe Burrow, just something that looks like a Bo Nix, a Drake May, a Jaden Daniels, like those, like a Trevor Lawrence. You have a 50-50 shot at that. Okay?
I don't think 50-50 is fair. I think it's more like 60-40.
It's
But-
60-40 is pushing it.
But the,
Because if the 40 is the part that you get, you might have JJ McCarthy, you might have Trey Lance. Like,
okay, so that's all fine.
okay,
The Bill Simmons talked. I was listening to his podcast today. If the Giants were to try to get Burrow and they offered Jackson Dart and a first round pick, a high first round pick since it's the Giants' first rounder,
okay,
is that one you take?
no.
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 Okay, so tell me the why. Tell me why when you
Because-
have a quarterback that is often injured, that has not played in a meaningful game in 3 years, that has thrown unconscionable picks in multiple occasions, and who has like a 17-14 record in his last 31 starts, of which he's only made like 70% of the starts that he was available.
Okay, that's okay. Let's first start with the oft injured. Has he been hurt a lot in his career so far? Yeah, but not so much that, like, if you look at the years that he played most of the games, he had them either in the playoffs, in the Super Bowl, or at least he was doing his part as the quarterback of the team, like in 2024. I'm going to go through a couple years here real quick. Joe Burrow's not the problem in Cincinnati. We've talked about this all
agree
year.
with you.
And I don't think that trading him away for picks, for basically lottery tickets and another quarterback prospect is what's that going to do for you? You're talking about if you screw that up, you're talking about a decade of the Bengals still of going back to wandering in the wilderness in those years between Carson Palmer and Joe Burrow, like wandering around headless and naked in the woods in the winter for years. It's, dude, you don't want that. When you have a franchise quarterback, you have a Josh Allen, you have a Joe Burrow, you have a Patrick Mahomes, any of these guys. You don't trade that away. It's too hard to come by those kinds of sure things. And this is really when we talk about injured Joe Burrow. Okay, 2020, his rookie year, he tore his ACL, but they were terrible that year. They were not going anywhere.
Couldn't block for him.
2021, they went to the fucking Super Bowl. He started all 16 games. Or he started 16 games. He sat the 17th game because they didn't need to win it. They beat the Bills on the road. They beat they didn't beat the Bills on the road. They beat the Chiefs on the road in the AFC Championship game, and they were within a few plays of winning the Super Bowl.
They were.
2022 lost the AFC Championship to Kansas City, who eventually won the Super Bowl. Like that's not a bad thing. Did Burrow play, not the best game in that AFC Championship? No, they were at Kansas City in January. There's not a lot of quarterbacks play at Kansas City.
And they were 12-4 that year.
Started 16 games. Started all the games. Well, he actually started 17 games with that was the year of the DeMar Hamlin game that they canceled, so it doesn't technically count as a start. He was healthy the entire year. Okay, they killed Buffalo on the road in the playoffs. That was a great year. 2023, he got hurt in Game 10, and they were already kind of sliding at that point. This is about when the defense started to take a real nosedive. Okay,
Yeah, their defense has been terrible.
Okay.
I know where you're going with.
Okay, and
The problem in
2024,
Cincinnati is
2024, he threw for almost 5,000 yards, 43 touchdowns. He's been comeback player of the year twice. He's been fourth in MVP voting twice. He's had the number 6 overall defense this year.
Okay, so
last year.
So what is your suggestion then that he, like, they get him through this season and hope that he comes to his senses and wants to play football?
Well, I don't think that I think that we're blowing this whole, I don't know if I want to play. He didn't say I don't know if I want to play. He said it's not fun. What's fun about having surgery on your toe?
Nothing.
And having to run around with a plate underneath it for the rest of the games this year and being eliminated from the playoffs. This is the first time he's been eliminated from the playoffs this early in his career. I can't imagine that's super fun. Like, is Patrick Mahomes having a lot of fun? Was Patrick Mahomes having fun playing football this year?
Let me tell you that. Let me tell you what, though. When you're the franchise, when you're the face of the franchise, and you're making the kind of money that he's making, you don't get to act like a fucking asshole.
Okay. But
okay,
of anybody in the franchise, he does.
You don't get to act like a fucking asshole.
Okay.
You don't get to act like a baby. You don't get to go out there and be a little fucking weirdo. You come out there, you take your lumps, you act like a man, and you show up and play the game that you're paid gajillion dollars to play. And you act like the face of the franchise.
Well, up until this point, up until this past week, I'm not sure that you can classify anything that he's done as being anything besides the utmost face of that franchise.
I grant you, but you don't get any do-overs.
Well, I guess. You also don't get to retcon like his the last 5 years of his career as some people are trying to do. Some people are trying to say like Joe Burrow doesn't step up in big spots in the playoffs. I'm like, am I taking crazy pills?
No,
I've watched the same guy, pills, right?
You're not going to fact check me out of this feeling.
I know, that's the thing. I can't. I can throw these numbers at you all day. It's not going to fucking matter.
No.
For the love of God, don't trade Joe Burrow.
I don't think they're going to trade Joe Burrow.
They can't. God damn, they can't.
Because Mike Brown, if nothing else, is more stubborn than anybody else. And he holds the cards. Anyway,
this might be the one spot where Mike Brown's stupid hard-headedness just keeps Cincinnati from committing an absolute football atrocity.
Anyway, the Bengals season is over.
It is.
Except they have games left to play, and that is the worst feeling.
And, by the way, Joe is going to start those games. Like they've said, he's like, no, I'm starting these games. So I don't know. That doesn't sound to me like a guy who's not having fun. Maybe he's going to go out there and, spit on his teammates for 3 hours. I don't know. But
the Jags.
Moving on.
The Jets go to the Jags. The Jags stomp them in the ground. Are the Jags good? No one knows.
Okay. The Jags. We need to settle down with the Jags. Everybody settle down with the Jaguars. If you let them suck you in this week,
I'm not.
I'm not saying you. I'm saying the royal you. The royal. We can't let this. Don't let this team suck you in. You don't learn anything about a team from playing the Jets.
Houston is better. Houston is better.
Significantly better
than Jacksonville.
Yes.
Anyway, the Jags won big at home. The biggest game of the weekend for me, was the Chargers hanging on to beat the Chiefs. And it's not because it was a great game, but because I think we just saw the end of the Chiefs' run as we know it.
Yeah.
Even when Tom Brady had his long run and they had their long Super Bowl drought, they were still in the playoffs every year. He had that ACL injury the year after the Randy Moss year.
Mm-hmm.
And they still came back and won a Super Bowl later on, and we're still good, big-time contenders, and Bill Belichick was still the coach. I'm not sure that Andy Reid is going to be the coach.
I've been saying all year, I think there's bigger changes than we realize coming to Kansas City. I don't think that means like Mahomes is going to get traded or, Kelsey's going to probably retire. I don't. He's a shell of himself this year. I mean, he's still probably he's still better than 15 other starting tight ends in the league.
Our commenters say he's like still a top 5 tight end. I don't think he is. I don't think they've watched
that. You've not watched him lumber around and drop, have passes bouncing off his hands.
That's the issue.
Yeah,
it's that little bit of twitch that he always had that he doesn't have now.
Right.
The other problem that Kelsey has, which is not Kelsey's fault, and I don't think has anything to do with his age, is the fact that there are no other receivers. So if you want to take their best receiver out of the game, you just blanket Kelsey.
Yeah.
That was the luxury that no team had when they had Tyreek Hill and those guys like that.
Exactly.
Was you could not double cover. You couldn't double cover Kelsey.
It can't be overlooked either that they've had some bad drafts. They've been trying to get a real running back to pair with Mahomes in the backfield. These receivers that they've drafted, Xavier Worthy, the Bills took a ton of heat for trading with the Chiefs out of the first round and giving up the chance to draft Xavier Worthy, who ran like a 4.2 or something to the combine, but he's not been that great. I mean, there's nothing. Xavier Worthy doesn't scare me. I don't go into a game thinking, Xavier Worthy is the guy to watch here. Like, it doesn't. They don't have anything, and you're right. Kelsey is really the only thing left, and I think he's kind of a shell of himself at this point.
I don't know if he is so much a shell. I don't think he's at age 36 way worse than he was at age 35. What I think has happened is he's the only thing.
Yeah.
And if you just double him. Also, he is at fault for at least 4 Patrick Mahomes interceptions this year. Patrick Mahomes either hits him in the hands or hits him, close on the body or something, wide left or a little bit wide right.
Or it's a little high, it tips, it gets up, goes up in the air.
Bounces off his hands and somebody else catches it. And that's not Patrick Mahomes' fault. That was Kelsey's fault. And that's where I think I see the biggest issue with him is just, and why not just go retire from football and go marry Taylor Swift? I mean, can you write a better ending than that?
I mean, it's not, it's not a bad way to retire.
Mrs. Travis Swift.
Yeah. But that,
Travis, whatever.
Mr. Travis, I don't know.
Mr. Taylor Swift.
We're definitely going to get shit for that one. And the Chiefs offense hadn't looked comfortable.
Anyway, they're eliminated. And then like the coup de grace.
We haven't even talked about
Pat Mahomes tearing his ACL and his LCL. I think it was an LCL.
LCL. He had surgery on the LCL too.
I watched that play and you couldn't tell immediately. It looked like his ankle at first.
Yeah. Until they showed the replay.
And then you're like, oh, and we're watching that game and I was just like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
So can he recover from that? Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Can he recover from that and be 99%? Absolutely.
Oh yeah, sure.
He still didn't have anybody to throw to, and he still didn't have a running game.
No.
And Andy Reid is 68.
68. Yep. He's getting up there. But on the other side of the ball there, the Chargers, given all of these things, and Kansas City wasn't good in this game. This was a game the Chargers absolutely had to have, and they just barely held on against the Chiefs team that was not playing well.
Well, Gardner Minshew comes in and throws. Was it Gardner Minshew?
Yeah.
Comes in and throws a pick.
Look,
poor guy.
It actually, now that the Chiefs are eliminated, it leaves us. I think it should leave us with a lot of questions about the Chargers too. Like I think they could be out of the playoffs at this point.
The standings don't say that. They're 10-4. They're.
Yeah.
I think they have. I think they're in. Let's see. It's going to be
out
of the AFC
that's probably
East,
right. You're probably right.
Pats and Bills. There's going to be one team out of the North. There's probably going to be one team and maybe 2 teams out of the South, and then there are going to be 2 teams from the West.
So right now, Houston is 9-5. Jacksonville is 10-4. If Houston manages to overtake Jacksonville, and Jacksonville ends up in that 10-4 range, Chargers are probably going to be in.
I think the Chargers are in. I'm not sure how good they are.
No, I don't. This is another one of those deals where it's like, I'm not scared of Justin Herbert in the playoffs. I'm not afraid to bet against him. Let's put it that way. This should actually lead us into the other playoff team from the AFC South. The other, in the mix playoff team is the Texans. Well, and the Colts. Where are we on our? You're kind of driving the car here on the schedule. So
Texans, Cardinals. The Cardinals come into Houston, get the shit kicked out of them.
Yeah.
I don't know what that tells us about Cardinals. I don't know that I watched a ton of this game. I do know that C.J. Stroud looks pretty good. They put up 40.
The Cardinals are just done. They're mailing it in at this point.
I agree. I don't know what you learned from this as a Texans fan, but I think they are the best team in the South. I think they're better than Jacksonville.
There's something to be said when a team that's had kind of a shaky offense on top of a really elite defense can go up against another professional football team and just decide to hang 40 on them.
Yeah.
It's at least encouraging. Sometimes you gotta see a few go through the net, right?
Yep.
And that might have been what this game was for Houston.
Just want to touch on Bears 31-3 over the Browns. The Bears finally, the Bears have been good but not great all year. They've won a lot of close games, but they were finally put it on a team 31-3 at home over the Browns. The Commanders beat the Giants. I could not care less about that game, and I could not care less about the Eagles hosting the Raiders and shutting them out 31-0, other than to say the Raiders, once again, Raiders fan, Raiders Nation, your team is in disarray once again. Once again, we come to you from the Bet Small, Lose Small podcast to tell you the Raiders suck.
They are talking about Pete Carroll is going to be out now again.
Pete Carroll's not the problem there. The offensive line is the problem there, and it is horrific. And Tom Brady, who was a minority owner, everybody was, what was it? Somebody said the other day, they were like,
the unfair advantage of having Tom Brady in the booth. I think we can put those fears to rest.
I think that's a little overblown.
Might not matter as much, guys. I don't know.
Not for the fun of it. Not for the seriousness of it, but for the fun of it. The most fun game of the weekend, Colts at Seahawks, but the Colts are helmed by 44-year-old Phillip Rivers. Did you think he lived up to expectations?
Ooh. That really depends on what you expected.
Any other answer than yes is wrong.
Yes. I mean, he gave every 44-year-old dude with a dad bod out there.
He did have a bit of a dad bod.
He just gave him hope. He just gave us all hope, man.
Okay, there's one
yeah,
play
if Phil can do it, I can do it too.
Right. There was one play in this game where he gets knocked down and he has to get up. And that didn't look smooth.
Did you see the play where he went down and he was not touched and he fell down?
Yes.
And then he got up and it looked like when I get up off the floor, I have to put one leg up and then kind of, you do the thing where you push on your knee to stand up the rest of the way. That was what he looked like in real time in a play in an NFL game.
Yes.
It was rough.
We're talking about the same play. I saw a vintage Hulk Hogan clip the other day when he was in his probably at least his 40s. Mm-hmm. And he's got a knee brace on, so it's obvious that he's got some sort of knee issue going on. Mm-hmm. And he gets knocked down, and the way he gets up is crazy. He gets up on two hands and his right foot, swings his leg around completely, and gets up, and it looks smooth because he did it fast. His left leg was not functioning. Phillip Rivers kind of looked like that.
And the thing is, I think Phillip Rivers, all of his limbs are functioning. They're just functioning at the level of a man who's 44 and has not played professional sports in 5 years.
But I take nothing away from him.
Yeah.
It was fun to watch it. The first pass I saw him throw, he's got that quick release.
It's weird.
It was 85, 90%, but it was still snappy.
Yeah.
But the man couldn't throw. He could not throw the ball 30 yards down the field.
No.
He could throw it maybe 10, 12. He checked down a lot. He kept them in the game. They didn't end up winning, but I think what they did do was scare the shit out of the Seahawks.
Yeah.
They ended up winning. The Seahawks won 18-16, but they didn't look good doing it. They were at home. This is the Seahawks that have outscored opponents by 163 points this year, 405 to 242. They're 6-1 on the road, 5-2 at home. They're 11-3. They can win the division in the NFC West. They're tied with Atlanta, 11-3. But I think Los Angeles. I think Los Angeles has a tiebreaker though.
They do. Yeah. That's why they're actually listed as that's why LA is listed as the division leader right now, because they have the tiebreaker. Yep. And it's worth noting too, Indianapolis had the ball with a chance to drive down and kick a game-winning field goal. Yeah. I mean, Phillip Rivers was not physically good. He kept that game close just with pure just knowing ball. That was what that game was about.
But to watch him complete his first pass and to watch him kind of get the rhythm of the game, and it was fun.
It was, man.
I think he'll end up starting again.
He will. I don't think they have any chance until they're eliminated. They have no choice but to start him.
If he gets them into the playoffs, that is like the insane story of this.
Oh my God,
of football for the past many years.
Yeah.
Moving on, Broncos hold on to beat the Packers 34-26 at home.
This is a great game.
It was a
really
great
fun game to watch.
Cold weather, back and forth. Is Bo Nix good?
He was in this game.
Is he like a 7.5 out of 10?
He was good in this game. This is the thing with Bo Nix. I kind of have to keep. He's got to keep showing it to me. I have to see this consistently. I almost have to see a whole other year of it. A year two Bo Nix to me is like every time he has a game like this, and we go, "Oh, is Bo Nix good?" And the answer can only be he was good in this game. I think of all the elements of that team, the one question mark is always going to be Bo Nix until he proves otherwise in a big spot. And I don't think this is a big enough spot for it.
Fun game. The Broncos are leading the AFC West.
Currently the 1 seed.
They are currently the 1 seed. They're 12-2.
Yep.
All right. Panthers and Saints don't care.
Well, no, we kind of have to care about this for a second.
Okay, that's right, because the Panthers had a chance to take over the NFC South and blew it.
Yes, they really gacked this one up. And yeah, this is a game that if you're going to be taken seriously as a playoff team, you got to win this game.
Yeah, I can't take them seriously.
No, I can't take it. I don't know if I can even take the Bucs seriously at this point.
Whoever wins the NFC South is you just pencil in the winner of that.
I cannot wait to bet on that bet against that home playoff team in the first round.
I agree with you. Titans put 24 on the 49ers, but they lose 37-24. As we were saying, the Niners are 10-4. They've played a large chunk of their season without their starting quarterback. I don't know. I'm not sure if they're good or not, but they keep winning games.
Yeah, they sure look okay when Brock Purdy is running the show.
They've won 4 in a row. They were 6-4. Now they're 10-4.
Yep. We did at one point have the Christian McCaffrey showed up on the injury report with something. It was like Christian McCaffrey listed as having dealing with a back injury, but he's gonna be fine. I'm like, sure,
okay,
let's go. Sure,
yep.
Talk to me in a couple weeks. We almost skipped over Detroit at the Rams. Detroit at the Rams.
41-34.
41-34 Rams, which it wasn't. It didn't really feel that close.
Detroit is they're like in the second tier of teams for me.
Yeah.
Like if there was somewhere between bad or not very good and pretty good, I think I'd put Detroit right in there.
Yep. They're a playoff team that has they're probably not going to make the playoffs because of what's going on with the NFC West, where you've already got 2 10-win teams. You know, you've got Seattle at 11-3, San Francisco at 10-4, with the Rams leading that division. Any other year, I think Detroit is probably a playoff team, but they're going to get squeezed out because you're going to have probably 3 wild card teams that have at least 10, 11, 12 wins.
I think that I would describe the entire NFL, but more so the NFC this year, is there's not a great team among them. There's not a team without a flaw.
I think
there's no complete team. I wouldn't even say, like, there are 2 good teams maybe, and Seattle just got scared. Yeah. And then there are a couple of pretty good teams, and then there's a whole lot of middle of the roads.
And that's not to say that any of them are bad. That's the thing, because we got a little bit of blowback for saying these kinds of things on one of our shorts. I don't remember. Somebody was like, "Oh, so every team sucks." I'm like, "No, it's not every team sucks. It's just we don't have that great team this year. The closest you're going to get is the Rams, and the only reason I don't feel like calling the Rams a truly great team is because they will do things like blow one to Carolina, and you just don't there's no telling why that happens. I think Matthew Stafford is probably the MVP. I get that people are wanting to talk about, Josh Allen's putting the Bills on his back and all this and blah, 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 whatever. Matthew Stafford is the MVP, and he should get it, and he deserves it.
I can't argue that. The playoff teams from the NFC are going to be the Eagles as the division winner in the NFC East. It looks like the Bears and the Packers probably. Whoever wins the NFC South, and then I think the Rams, Seahawks, and 49ers are all going to be in.
Right. So that means either the Bears or Green Bay, whoever doesn't win the North, that'll be your first wild card team, and then your next 2 will be either the Rams, Seattle, or San Francisco. Two of those.
Yeah, 2 of those.
Which means just one NFC East and one NFC South.
Yep.
Okay. That's probably where we're going with it. I think Dallas, did we talk about Dallas yet?
No, the Vikings beat the Cowboys in Dallas 34-26.
On Sunday night.
The Vikings suddenly a little bit resurgent. All the Vikings are doing are hurting their chances of getting a high draft pick.
Oh my God, I know.
If you're going to be bad, be bad. Like the Giants.
And Dallas,
or the Saints.
Dallas... This is why we probably should have stopped short of taking them seriously a few weeks ago, because you can't lose home games in prime time to Arizona and Minnesota.
To JJ McCarthy.
To JJ McCarthy and the Arizona and Minnesota and then the Arizona Cardinals. That's just you're not a playoff. You're not a serious team.
No.
Those things happen.
So that was, Cowboys eliminated, good riddance.
Not yet. Technically not yet eliminated, but man, they are.
Their chances of getting the playoffs are tiny.
They're not. They're at that point where
they
need to win and get some help.
They'd have to win out and get help.
And no one in this NFC has given them any help at this point.
And last night the Dolphins didn't show up until basically the third quarter. They lost to the Steelers, 15-28. Aaron Rodgers has been playing with a broken wrist in 3 places. 3 fractures in his wrist.
Sure.
For a month.
Fine. Okay.
Anyway, 28-15.
Didn't look awesome before that. Worth noting. This game, this was a tough watch. We talked about this. It went into halftime 7-3 Pittsburgh. Man, it was a slog through. It was scoreless after the first quarter. And then really Pittsburgh came out. Well, Miami kind of just shit this game away because they came out. Steelers score a touchdown on their first drive of the third quarter. Miami goes 3 and out on losing 8 yards. Steelers score another touchdown on a 10-play drive. Miami goes 3 and out, losing 12 yards. So if you're keeping score at home, in the third quarter, the Dolphins ran 6 plays for negative 20 yards. And then the Steelers scored another touchdown, and then that was it. It was 28-3.
It's Tuesday night, the 16th as we're recording this. Mike McDaniel comes out and says today that he is considering or not taking off the table benching Tua Tagovailoa. And to that I say, What's taking you so long?
What a novel fucking idea, Mike. Good Lord, man. Have you? This is whatever.
Look.
It's Miami. I'm glad. You know what? I'm glad they play in the Bills division. Let's put it that way. I'm happy for that.
Tim Tebow was my favorite pro to dislike as not as a human being. I think Tim Tebow is an honorable human being. I could not stand his fan base who continued to say over and over and over that Tim Tebow got a raw deal as an NFL quarterback.
Okay. Sure.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
The NFL will go to the ends of the earth to find players. And if you can play in that league, you will play. Christian Okoye, does that ring a bell?
Oh, yeah.
Anybody?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Anyway, Tua reminds me of, is basically a slightly more accurate passer than Tim Tebow.
Playing fast and loose with terms slightly.
He's a more accurate passer than Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
But it feels kind of like I'm watching the same guy play because they're left-handed.
Yeah.
They're marginally fast.
Sure.
They're wildly inaccurate.
Yeah, I mean, Tua has his moments. I don't know. Look, we're talking about two quarterbacks who basically are going to be out of football by their 6th year. So
I don't think Tua will be out of football. I think he will go somewhere and be a backup. He will be the Marcus Mariota. He will be the Jimmy Garoppolo. He will be that guy for a few years where he can look good, but he often doesn't.
Yeah. Well, he's not going to be a starting quarterback
I
after this
that.
year. Yeah, if they keep him around as a starter, then I don't know. I'll be happy about it as a Bills fan. I'll say that.
All right, let's take a break and we'll come back. When we come back, we're going to talk about the contest. We're going to preview next week. And in our last segment, we're going to talk about Rob Reiner and the for Gen Xers. I mean, he had a great run.
Some hot runs, some real hot runs in there. Yeah.
So we'll talk about Rob Reiner in our last segment when we come back.
All right. You ready to take a look at week 16? We got 3 weeks left, man. It's getting. Are you getting sad? Do you feel a little down at the end of Sunday night?
Well, my team is already out, so now I'm basically rooting for the Bills.
Okay. We appreciate that.
So
just keep that at
don't bring your
don't bring too much.
Yeah.
Don't you bring too much of that to us, okay?
No. I mean, in all seriousnness, I do want your team to do well, and I wish you well.
Yeah. I have questions.
I have lots. I think I'm as big a Josh Allen fan as I can be without being a Bills fan.
Yeah.
I like watching the dude play, man.
It's hard for me to have a rational opinion, but it feels like does feel like the kind of guy that a lot of people would have a very easy time liking. You know?
Before we get into this, I just want to touch on the Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua fight.
Boy.
So this sports weekend, we have NFL football on Thursday night. Yeah. We have the Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua fight on Friday night. We have 2 NFL games on Saturday, and I think the college playoffs.
College playoffs start on Saturday. Yeah.
Start Saturday, so we get a double dose of football on Saturday. We have all the games on Sunday, and then Phil Rivers plays on Monday Night Football.
Oh, man. I'm so ready for that.
So
so ready.
I was looking at the Joshua standing or the
Paul Joshua.
Yeah. Jake Paul is plus 700. Anthony Joshua is minus 1,300. Let me tell you all. Jake Paul could not knock out Mike Tyson.
Right.
Who was ancient.
Yeah.
Ancient. And he's going in against a world-class fighter that is a recent world champion.
Yeah.
If you have any money on Jake Paul, you're an idiot.
Is it the 1-800-GAMBLER game of the week?
That's a 1-800-GAMBLER game of the year.
My
right
goodness. Look, if you want to make an easy $100 and you got $1,300 laying around.
Yes, that's
you know,
exactly what
it's
it
probably
is.
a good bet.
If
you
you
know,
want to pay $100 to win, what would it be? 13.
you have to pay. You have to bet 1,300 to win 100.
I know, but I'm trying to think. If you bet 100, what would you win?
Oh gosh, like $3.
Yeah,
It's not going to be much.
It's like $7.
yeah,
$7.
yeah. It's not going to be a lot. Don't do it.
All right. Let's start with the Thursday night game. The Rams at the Seahawks. We'll
My
start with
goodness.
a banger. The Rams are a road favorite against the Seahawks, who are maybe one of the best teams in the NFL, or at least I thought they were.
This is as close to a pick 'em as you can get. It's Rams -1.5. Seahawks +1. Well, that goes without saying. It's -108 for both teams.
Boiled down to its simplest terms, do you like Matt Stafford or do you like Sam Darnold?
I am shocked that the Rams are only laying 1.5. I would have thought this was 2.5, 3.5 easily. The Rams are just better.
I think the Seahawks are going to struggle to score 21 points here, and if I'm putting money on this, it's the Rams, and I'll lay the points. I'll take the +100.
I agree.
I'll lay that 1.5.
I like that plus, and I love getting +100. I love getting even money on -1.5.
Yep.
That's good. And you know what? I'll even hit the over on that one too.
All right, Eagles at Commanders. Commanders are getting 6.5 at home. This is actually the Saturday at 5:01 p.m. Eastern time NFL game. I don't think I'll have any money on this. With a gun to my head, I am probably laying the 6.5. The Eagles have everything to lose. Washington has nothing to gain. So I'm going with the Eagles.
It's a stay away for me.
I think it is
I can't.
too.
I can't. Washington has decided they're benching Jaden Daniels for the rest of the year, which is the right way. It's the right move. But I don't know how you lay 6.5 with the Eagles. Like, I mean, maybe Eagles money line at -290, but even that, like, there's always one of these weird NFC East games at the end of the year that makes a difference.
Yes.
You know, sometimes it's like, you know, a bad Giants team beats the Eagles at home, or the Cowboys, you know, minus Dak Prescott, you know, knock Washington out of the playoffs. Something weird always happens here. It's stay away. I wouldn't touch it.
All right. The best game of the week is the Green Bay Packers at the Chicago Bears. This has every implication. NFC North riding on it. The Packers are, much like the Rams, giving a 1.5 on the road.
Until I see Caleb Williams get it done in a big spot, I'm going with Packers.
I'm teasing this up to 4.5 or 5.5 for the Bears.
Plus 4.5, 5.5 for the Bears.
Yeah, I think they keep it close.
Okay.
I don't think the weather. I don't know what the weather is going to be this weekend. The hard part about betting these games on Tuesday is things change throughout the week.
Yeah.
But if the weather is bad, as we saw that very physical Pittsburgh-Miami game, like every hit looked like it hurt. I like both of these are cold weather teams. I just think it's going to be a really physical game. I'm not sure that 46.5 is attainable in those conditions, but it just depends. Like we don't know what the weather's going to be.
Yeah, I kind of lean Packers -1.5 in this, just because I feel like they're a little more tested than Chicago, and I like the -102 a little bit better than I like the money line at -112. I'm not the over under. I'm not trying to figure out an over under at 46.5
Agreed.
in this weather.
LA Chargers at the Cowboys. LA Chargers getting 2.5 on the road. The Cowboys season is on the line. Every game is a must win. And they didn't show up last week against the Vikings. Why would they show up against the Chargers?
I need somebody to make this line make sense to me. The Chargers are getting 2.5 at the Cowboys, who just absolutely shit the bed at home in the last month against Arizona and Minnesota, and they're laying 2.5.
I'm on this. I'm on this with the Chargers straight money line, which is plus 108.
Yeah.
And over 49.5.
I'm right there too. Over plus 108 Chargers and over 49.5 for sure.
All right, the 1-800-GAMBLER game of the week is the Minnesota Vikings at the New York Giants.
Do we have to talk about this?
We don't.
Let's just. Do you even want to pick anything there?
No,
I don't want to touch it.
It's the 1-800-GAMBLER game of the week.
Yeah, it's a meaningless game for both teams.
The Buffalo Bills are at the Cleveland Browns. The only intrigue here is the 10.5 points. Will you lay the 10.5?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
All
You're
right.
not going to get me to lay more than 3.5 points with the Bills the rest of this season into the playoffs.
Every game is a must-win.
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care. They can't keep spotting teams 21 points. They are fully capable. Look, you're going to look up at one point. I'm just telling you right now, you're going to look up at one point and you're going to see Browns 13, Bills 3 late in the second quarter. I'm calling it right now. They might win that game by 6. They might win it by 21. But you're going to at some point see the Bills are down 10 to the Browns or late in the first half. I don't want to touch it. Minus 650 is too much of a money line number. It's just not good enough odds for me.
All right.
Maybe over 42.5.
I can get them in a 7-leg parlay, I think. All right, moving on to the other 1-800-GAMBLER. We have two 1-800-GAMBLER game of the weeks this week. The New York Jets at the New Orleans Saints. I will expend no more breath on this.
I just want to say one thing.
Go ahead.
I rode the Jets the last few weeks.
You cannot get money on the Jets again.
Plus 176 is so tasty for the Jets
stop
against New Orleans.
Out of here.
Well, okay.
It's beautiful New Orleans in December.
I'm going to watch this game. I'm going to watch this game because I'm kind of interested to see what Tyler Shuck.
You are not going to watch.
This is going to get a spot in the multi-view, man. What else am I going to put in? Fucking Minnesota and Giants. I'm not watching a single minute of that game.
I can tell you what you're going to be.
I want to see Tyler Shuck.
You're going to watch Buffalo at Cleveland. You're going to watch L.A. and the Cowboys. You're going to watch the Bears and the Packers. And you're going to watch the Rams and the Seahawks. That's your 4.
That's fine. I got 2 iPads. I can go 6 wide.
God. All right. Probably the most impactful game of the week. This is a loser leaves town cage match.
My goodness.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers laying 3 at the Carolina Panthers. I want none of this. None of this. I couldn't tell you what Bucks are going to show up.
This is the battle of the two teams. Like, coming out of this game, we're going to find out who we're going to get to gamble against in a home playoff game in the first week.
Who are we taking on the road?
Yeah, exactly. Who's going on the road? Like, this is the team. Whoever loses this game is probably going to get like Seattle at home.
Well, they play another time too. So
they do.
They play twice in the season.
This, you know what? We give the schedule makers some shit sometimes, but this is a good one. This is a good one. This is a great one.
In a game that does not matter, the Cincinnati Bengals are at the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are giving 2.5. They're getting 2.5 at home. The only thing I can tell you for this is the over, even though there is no rationality to that. Because the Bengals just got shut out by a Ravens defense that stinks.
Well, the Bengals defense is still terrible.
So
Miami
does Tua put up 40?
No, Tua doesn't need to put up 40. The over/under is 50.5. Like, Tua can put up. You think Tua can put up? Tua can put up 24.
Do you think these two unmotivated, shitty teams are going to go 31-21?
Here's what I know.
Rain at Miami.
Here's what I know about Joe. Is it going to be rainy? Do we know that?
No,
possibly.
I don't know that.
here's what I know about Joe Burrow. He's gonna be listening to all this shit, like, people like my podcast partner here talking about trading him to which, by the way, I think the Rams would be more than happy to take on Joe Burrow to fill in after Matt Stafford next year. But Joe Burrow is going to have a chip on his shoulder next week.
Let's hope.
And I think he's going to take all the frustrations that he has out on Miami, because Miami's defense isn't all that good either.
All right.
I think this goes well over. I think this is like a 35-27 game.
Okay. I don't know if I can put money on the Bengals right now, but maybe I will. All right. Kansas City is giving 3.5 at Tennessee. The Mahomesless the Mahomesless Chiefs.
This is the all depression game. Like, go under. 37.5 is the number.
37.5. That is a rough under.
Go under.
This is a rough watch.
Yeah, this is bad.
All right, let's go to the 4:00 slate. This is an important game too. Jacksonville getting 3 points in Denver. Both teams need to win no matter what.
Yeah.
Denver's playing for the number 1 seed. Jacksonville's playing to win the AFC South. And Houston is Houston's playing the Raiders. So we know that they're likely to win.
We're going to get to that in a second. I like Denver -3 here.
I do too.
And I like the over 45.5.
I also like that.
Okay.
All right.
We're agreeing too much. This is bad. This is bad. We can't agree this much.
We yelled earlier.
I know, but this means we are due for like an offer this week.
It's the meaningless bird game. Falcons at Cardinals.
Oh man.
It's the battle of the birds, as we have here in our little hometown. Falcons are giving 2.5 at the Cardinals. I don't want to. No, I don't want to talk about this game.
I'm betting this game. I'm taking. Why wouldn't I take Cardinals plus 128 at home?
I don't know.
Why is that? Why are they?
What do you trust about the Cardinals?
Why?
The Falcons just beat the Bucks?
They just beat the Cowboys on the road. Like, the Falcons are a little frisky. They can do some things. Jacoby Brissett's looked okay. I mean, you're talking about Kirk Cousins going on the road.
You think
and laying points? Come on. That seems to me. That seems a little odd.
The Arizona Cardinals.
I'm taking Cardinals. I'm taking Cardinals money line.
I want to see it in your picks.
I will put it in my picks, motherfucker.
I want to see it in your picks.
Watch me. That Cardinals. I don't understand this. It should be -1.5 Cardinals.
All right. Pittsburgh playing for their season is at Detroit, also playing for their season. This line is way too many.
Way too many.
Way too many. I'm on the Steelers plus the 6.5. I don't know about that 51.5 over, but I'm willing to take that too.
I don't like this. I'm going to pass on this one. If I was going to pick anything, I would probably take Lions -6.5.
Really?
I just think the Lions' offense is better than anything that the Steelers do.
Okay. Even
with the struggles that they've had this year, it feels to me like the Lions win this by a touchdown at home. And they're desperate. Like, this is backs against the wall now.
Pittsburgh is also desperate.
Yeah, but Pittsburgh's got a game lead in the division.
Mike Tomlin has to get to the playoffs.
Mike Tomlin just
he
has to get to 500, right? Yeah.
Mike Tomlin cannot be seen without his sunglasses.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
Did you know there's a fine line between drinking wine and crushing grapes?
Yeah. The Raiders are at the Texans. The Texans are giving 14.5. Are you willing to lay 14.5?
Yes. With this defense against the Raiders, I might bump that down to 13.5.
I think it's 28-3.
Yeah, it's something sick.
It's under 37.5.
Maybe 14.5 is good. Maybe I bump that up. Maybe we bump it up to like something stupid. Just put like a -21 on there.
All right.
Something ridiculous. It's yeah. That line, yeah. I got to think about that. We'll have that in the picks.
Talk about desperation. The New England Patriots, this is the Sunday night game, are at the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are 2.5-point favorites. Make that make sense.
The Ravens are 2.5-point favorites.
Make it make sense.
I can't.
I'm on the Patriots.
Give me Patriots.
Give me Patriots money line.
Give me plus 130.
Yeah.
This is I can't understand this.
It's a stupid line.
I mean, the Ravens looked. Lamar started to look a little bit better this week, but not favored over the Patriots at home.
I agree.
I don't like that at all.
All
Give me
right.
the Patriots.
The Monday Nighter is the San Francisco 49ers giving 6.5 at the Colts.
This is a big one, man. This is a big game. This is a big game for dad bods
Everybody
worldwide.
Both these teams need this game big.
Yeah. Man, I can't lay the points, but San Francisco -295, I don't mind it. And I also don't mind the under 46.5. Because look, are the Colts going to score points with Phillip Rivers? No. Can they get to 13 points? I mean, they got to 13 points this week. I don't know. I think the 49ers are a better coached. Oh, well, maybe I can't say that.
Mike Tyson is not fighting. He's not continuing his fight career for a reason, because he looked his age.
Yeah.
Phil Rivers looked his age.
Yeah.
I loved that he went out there and looked competent. For all of us old guys, I really enjoyed watching him play, but it's a novelty act.
Did you see the Phil Rivers like scream into the turf like when he threw that touchdown pass? The intensity, I loved it.
It's a novelty act, but
It was great.
It was great, but it's a novelty act. And I'm not trying to take away anything. It was fun to watch.
Yeah.
But seeing him for 5 or 6 games in a row is not going to be great for football.
No.
I can't get. I'm fine with laying the 6.5.
I'm taking Niners -295.
All right.
On that one. That's the money line.
All right, we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back with... No, actually, let's update the contest.
Yeah, let's update the contest. We had it wasn't a terrible week.
No.
You actually were 50-50. You pulled off one of the most heroic gambling acts of probably mine and your lifetimes. It doesn't happen very often that someone hits a 7-leg parlay.
I did.
Jacksonville, Chicago, Philadelphia, Houston, the Rams, Seattle, and San Francisco at +206. You had 25 pesos on that. It wasn't long odds. I mean, you had Seattle -1150 in there. You had Jacksonville -900. San Francisco -950. The funny thing is, the one that almost got you was the -1150 Seattle Seahawks, who the Colts had a chance to drive down and kick a game-winning field goal at the end.
Phil Rivers had a chance to be a hero.
Yeah, and Phil just threw up a meatball, and it ended up in Seattle's hands. But you got that one at +206. You had 25 pesos on it. It paid you 76.5. You also had your alt line trio that you've been kind of one of us each week has been riding sort of an alt line kind of deal. You had Tampa Bay. God, I love this so much. You had Tampa Bay +1.5. At the where were they? Who'd they lose to? They lost by 1. Falcons. They gacked that one away against the Falcons on Thursday. That's why I can't remember. It's outside of my range of short-term memory. But they lost by 1. Chicago alt line -4.5 and Houston alt line -3.5. Both those teams won outright and by quite a bit. You had 25 on that at +175, and that paid you 68.75 pesos.
So I'm up. I was up.
You're up
13.
130, 140 something this week. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you were up 40-ish.
The hole is
You
not
dug
quite as
you dug
deep.
out a little bit. Now you had the Chargers. You had a parlay of Chargers plus 4.5 and Dallas minus 6.5, and Dallas just
Killed me.
yeah.
I had them in multiple bets.
You also had money on the Bengals at plus 2.5. Boy, oh boy. And I had no issue with that when you took Bengals plus
they
2.5. It got away from them in a hurry. That was what happened in that one.
This whole season's gotten away from him.
Well, you didn't. It's kind of reasonable to take a team like Cincinnati, who is kind of playing for their playoff lives, as opposed to me, who took the Jets plus 12.5.
They got beat.
And they got beat.
How did you do in the contest this week? 50-50?
I did okay. I only had one pick hit. Now here's the ones that I missed. Chicago, I had a parlay of minus 6.5, alt 6.5, and Jets plus 12.5. That did not hit, but that would have been plus 214. I had a money line parlay of Denver, Carolina, and Pittsburgh, and Carolina, of course, just didn't do anything they needed to do. And then I had a Houston alt line minus 6.5, Cincinnati plus 120, and Seattle minus 13.5.
Cincinnati.
That was a plus 553. But I did hit my my triple over pick this week.
I loved that one.
I had New England.
That was fun.
I was like, these are 3 games that I do not want to pick a winner, but I certainly will pick them to go over the total. It was New England Buffalo over 49.5. It was Detroit and the Rams over 54.5. And it was Minnesota Dallas over 47.5, and all 3 of those hit. I had 20 pesos on it at plus 554. That paid me 130.8. So I was up 30.8 for the week.
All right. When we come back, we will have tribute to Rob Reiner and look at some of his career and talk about what we know as of Tuesday night, as far as he and his wife's murder. And we will have our picks.
All right.
When we come back.
When we come back. Make some picks for week 16. Just to give, we didn't say in the recap there. You're minus 377.25 pesos for the year. I am plus 655. So
you've had a good year.
Well, I had one good week.
Okay.
That's the thing. And look, I was thinking about this the other day. Last year, before we were doing the podcast, you were the one that went on to just a blazing hot. Like you had flames shooting out of your ass.
I got hot last year.
Yeah.
And bought a drone.
That's right. If you can make enough money to buy a drone, you've done okay. My personal picks, I kind of sprayed them all over the place, and I don't bet very big, so I'm not buying any drones with my money. But
I've done better with my personal picks this year than I have my contest picks. But it's been a slog. I'm just about even on my personal picks.
It's been a weird year. Any way you look, any
year.
way you cut it, it's been a weird year. So let's go ahead and make our picks. You want to go?
I've got
you want to go first?
How many do you have?
I've got 4. So I guess we'll split yours into. We'll kind of shuffle them back and forth here. My first pick. I've got Green Bay minus 1.5 and the over in that game at 46.5. Mm-hmm. And then I'm also adding the LA Chargers at plus 108. Parlaying all those together to get plus 634.
Damn.
And I'm putting 30 pesos on that one.
I forgot to get the Chargers in, and I should have.
There's still time.
About it, and I might let me go ahead and do one more.
Do one more of mine? Okay. You go ahead and you figure that out. I'm going back to the well with the
do it. Oh my gosh,
with the Jets. No, not the Jets.
Okay.
I'm not actually touching the Jets. I threaten to, just because I know it makes you crazy. But no, I'm going back to the well with the over trio. I'm taking the Chargers and Dallas over 49.5. I'm taking the Los Angeles Rams and Seahawks at over 44.5. I'm taking Atlanta, Arizona over 47.5. Those 3 together get me to plus 585.
All right.
I'm putting 30 on that.
The over trio.
The over trio. I'm telling you, this is the time of year to start hitting overs when, I don't know, we keep saying these things. Nobody's fucking listening to this. Who cares? It's this is the time of year to hit overs. Well, was it? I don't know.
I don't know. The over-unders have been my bugaboo for years, but
Yeah.
I've got one in here today.
Okay, let's hear
All
it.
right. I've got a four-legger. It gets me to plus 390. It is the LA Chargers straight up plus 108. The Buffalo Bills. No one circles the wagons never mind. They're minus 650. Denver is minus 174, and Detroit is minus 335. And I've got 25 pesos.
Okay. What was the total you got to that?
Plus 390.
Plus 390. That's pretty good.
Second pick is even better.
And you put how many pesos on that? Tell me that again.
25.
25. Okay, that'd be nice. That'd be almost 200.
Four-legger. This is the Atlanta Falcons plus 2.5 at minus 188. Pittsburgh Steelers plus 12.5 at minus 245.
Are these regular lines?
No, these are alt lines.
Alt lines. Okay.
Houston Texans minus 14.5. And the San Francisco 49ers minus 1.5. That's an alternate spread. And that gets me to plus 474.
Ooh. What are you putting on that?
25.
25? Okay.
We're going for broke.
Man. That's nice. Those are all alt lines, right?
All but one. The Texans.
Oh, the Texans are 14 and a
minus
half.
4.5.
Oh,
14.5.
Okay. I still like that number. Man.
I think they're going to whoop the Raiders.
I think so too.
Serious.
I think so too. It really just depends on whether their offense scores points this week. Okay, I've got just a regular old money line parlay. I've got Detroit minus 335. They are. Let me see. They're playing.
They're Pittsburgh.
They're playing Pittsburgh. I got them minus 335.
Seasons, and Detroit's been shaky.
Yeah, but I just think Pittsburgh sucks, man.
I agree with you, but it's just one of those hard games. I've got them. I just had them in a parlay too. So
okay. Well, anyway, I've got Detroit minus 335, New England plus 130. I cannot figure out why they're getting a plus number at the Ravens, but they are, and I'm taking them. And then I'm taking San Francisco minus 295 over the Colts at Indianapolis. And the funny thing is, since I picked that, it's actually gone up to minus 300. So those three together are plus 299. I'm putting 20 on that one.
Love. I'm going to probably borrow that one.
Okay.
In my personal picks.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I've got just a regular old four-legger money line parlay. The Eagles minus 290. The Bills minus 650. The Broncos minus 174. And the 49ers minus 295. And that only gets me to plus 227. And I'm putting 20 pesos on that.
Who screws that up?
Probably
Is
Denver.
it Philly? Woo.
No, I think
We both said different things at the same time, and neither of us said Buffalo.
I think Buffalo's gonna beat the shit out of
think
Cleveland.
so?
I think they're gonna win like 35-3.
Okay.
Buffalo, since Cleveland, God, I can't even speak. Cleveland has been awful. Shedeur Sanders is not good.
Yeah. Okay.
He's not good.
Okay. I'm just telling you, at some point you're going to look up and it's 13-3 Cleveland, and you're chasing it.
With the Bills,
It's not disillusionment.
in a year that they are set up to win is worse than mine with Burrow.
It's not disillusionment. It's knowing how this team operates. I'm not saying they're going to lose. I'm just saying you're going to look up at one point and you're going to see Cleveland 17, Buffalo 10 in the third quarter or something like that, and you're going to start chasing it.
Part of the reason we started this podcast is because we thought we were fucking hilarious in our texts back and forth, and we're like, why don't we just put this out to the world?
Yeah.
And you all should see the ones that we don't share.
Oh my God. They cannot be shared, some of them. All right, so is that all your picks? Wait,
No, I have one more.
you got one more. Okay. Did you put 20 on that? You said you put 20 on that. Okay. All right. My last one is just a little two-legger here. Arizona at plus 128. They are Let me find that again because they are home for the Falcons. Plus 128. I'm taking that and I'm putting that with Denver minus 174 at home for Jacksonville. Those two together are going to get me to plus 259.
I usually like your picks, but I just
Don't like it?
I just can't mess with the Cardinals.
Can't touch the Cardinals?
I just can't.
I think they're frisky enough, man. And look, I'll bet against Kirk Cousins on the road on short odds like that. Fuck yeah, let's go, man.
All right. My last pick is a doozy. It is a real doozy. All right, I've got a same game parlay, which is the Rams minus 1.5 and over 44.5, parlayed with a Buffalo Bills minus 10.5.
Is that that's the regular line, right?
I think that's a regular one.
Okay.
And a Houston Texans alternate spread of minus 9.5, which is minus 215. The Bills are plus 100. And that same game parlay is plus 267. That gets me to plus 977.
Oh, man.
977. And that gets 30.
30. That is a season changer if you hit that. Yeah. That's like you hit that and you are right back in the game.
That's where we need to be.
That is amazing. I love it. I love that. Man, I might, by the time we get to Sunday morning,
It might be holding up by then.
It might.
It kind of depends on the week that we have.
Yep. Okay. All right. That's the Week 16 picks. Picks that are, what do we say? Picks that are sure to fail. The buffet of
sure to go wrong.
The buffet of catastrophe. All right. So you go ahead. You get this started for us.
I want to read just the latest on the Rob Reiner. As many of you know, Rob Reiner and his wife were murdered allegedly by their son after a party at Conan O'Brien's.
I didn't know this part.
Yeah. And I believe the son is I don't believe this is from the New York Times. I'm just reading you the headlines real quick. His son is formally charged with the murder and the parents' deaths. Rob and Michelle Reiner, or Michelle is the wife's name. And allegedly, their son, Nick, has battled all kinds of demons over the years.
Yeah.
And he got into a tiff with Bill Hader at Conan O'Brien's holiday party and ends up murdering, allegedly, his parents, Rob Reiner and wife, after this. So that's what we know about the situation. We've been talking since this happened and since the news broke about Rob Reiner, and I said, give me a better 5-movie stretch than Rob Reiner had, basically from, well, I'm not even counting Spinal Tap, but I'm looking on IMDb right here. Just give me 1 second and I'll find it.
I want to say, while you're looking that up, I do also want to say we stay away from we stay away mostly from the political stuff and all that. It's, this is neither the forum to discuss any of, the political aspect of this. I'll just say that in this last year, we've had some pretty ugly things happen. It's not the first time there's been a gruesome murder of somebody in the media who also raises some kind of political discourse, and that's not what we're here to do. It's kind of shown me this year that, man, there's some ugly sides to people, especially once you get to talking about this stuff online, and that's not what we're here to do today. And I'll also say this: look, if somebody gets, like Rob Reiner, gets murdered in this kind of fashion, and you don't like their politics or you don't like something about them, you don't necessarily have to. I'm gonna very tightly paraphrase the current GOAT Dave Chappelle. You can say nasty things about somebody who's just been murdered, or this is gonna be controversial. You could just shut the fuck up. So that's not what we're here to do today.
No,
I just
don't.
kind of want to say we're talking about the career and influence of Rob Reiner, who is an absolute icon in Hollywood, regardless of what you think of anything else that he did outside of entertainment.
Yeah, we are political people. We're just not political on this show.
Not here, not worth it.
Not on this show.
No.
Anyway, the Rob Reiner had a 5-year stretch, and really as a director, he never quite got to this level again. But he had a 5-year stretch of I don't know what the sure thing is. I've never seen it, and I think it's kind of hard to find. And this is his directorial debut is This Is Spinal Tap. So that's
amazing.
7.9 on your 10 scale on IMDb. That's 1984, a mockumentary in 1984.
Good Lord.
Like way ahead of his time.
And a serious risk that, like, it almost created the genre of the mockumentary.
Oh, he definitely. He's done. Michael McKean's been in how many of them? Like,
oh yeah,
4.
Yeah.
Best in Show.
So was Rob Reiner behind Best in Show?
I don't know.
I don't remember that.
He did not direct it, but obviously Michael McKean got got into those.
Yeah.
So this in 1986. This is the Gen Xer 5 spot that you cannot miss. Stand By Me, 1986. We've got a period piece with child actors. Okay, it launched a couple of careers. It launched River Phoenix, who ended up dying very young.
Yeah.
But a couple other big name actors in that, including Corey Feldman. And who was the guy on Big Bang Theory that's the nemesis? Anyway.
Oh, yeah. What was his name? See, I'm not a Big Bang Theory guy, so you're asking the wrong person.
Then in 87, he did The Princess Bride, which is kind of an all-timer.
Mm-hmm.
Another, I guess we'd call that a period piece, but it's in a genre of its own. Then he does the rom-com Standard, When Harry Met Sally, in 1989. Yep. Then in 90, he does something completely different and does a horror thriller, Misery.
A Stephen King joint. One of those runs where Stephen King had like a bunch of movies based on his books come out.
Yeah, he does Misery with the James Caan and Kathy Bates, mm-hmm. with the very famous hobbling scene.
Great movie. Just a great movie all around.
And tops it off in 1992 with maybe the most quoted line of cinema history in the last 50 years. After You're Going to Need a Bigger Boat, which is A Few Good Men with You Can't Handle the Truth.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Another great movie. That is a hell of a run.
That's 5.
You asked me, has anyone had a better run than that?
I mean, probably.
So I started thinking about this. And of course, you can think of, you can go to like, okay, Quentin Tarantino for that run from Reservoir Dogs through like Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2. You can go Christopher Nolan from Memento all the way into like, the Batman trilogy. I don't know if is that the kind of territory that you want to try to compare? Like, I don't know if it's fair to say Rob Reiner was swimming in that same territory. I feel like he's more along the line of like I looked up Ivan Reitman, for example.
Oh, Reitman had a bunch in a row, too.
Because
and Reitman was more accessible than, say, Quentin Tarantino.
Sure, yeah.
Tarantino's not accessible to everybody.
You think of those guys, you think of Rob Reiner and Ivan Reitman as like really the pillars of accessible 70s, 80s, 90s rom-com comedies, the occasional drama thing here and there, with whether it's A Few Good Men or Misery or whatever. That's just I kind of always put those guys in the same circle.
Reiner is accessible, mostly family friendly, even though several of these are rated R, but not for heavy sexual all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's storytelling. That's what Reiner is good at, is storytelling.
Yes.
And he has 90 credits as an actor. And most famously, he played Meathead on the Archie Bunker All in the Family.
That's right. Kind of where he got his start was.
That was definitely where he got his start.
Yeah, I mean, he'd done some other things before that. Episodes here and there. Like I see on here, like The Odd Couple. One episode of The Odd Couple, one episode of The Rockford Files. Like, a few of those things. All in the Family was the first time he really was sort of a lead or supporting character of some kind in TV or movies. He also has, he's got a lot of those little like bit parts. Like he's listed here. Now you're familiar with the movie The Jerk.
Oh yeah.
Okay. He is listed as truck driver picking up Navin. An uncredited role in the 1979 movie The Jerk.
Why wouldn't he?
Yeah. He's in Throw Mama from the Train. He plays a role in This Is Spinal Tap. He plays a role as a helicopter pilot in Misery.
Why wouldn't he?
Why not? He's in Sleepless in Seattle. He runs on the Larry Sanders Show and First Wives Club and Frasier. Had an episode there. He was sort of one of those guys that was, if you look deep enough, there's probably a little Rob Reiner sprinkled in someplace in a quarter of the movies, the big movies made.
Well, I mean,
from 79 to like the 2000s.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
He was just a hell of a storyteller. He was never a leading man. He was never going to be a romantic lead or anything like that.
No.
But a great bit part guy with some range, but always funny.
Yeah.
With some range as a director. But I don't think we understand, and this is the tragedy of it. Doesn't matter how much money you have or how smart you are or how well loved you are. If you got a family that is dealing with issues,
yeah,
that is hard to overcome. And that's kind of the tragic part of this, because Rob Reiner was a gajillionaire. He was political. He was liberal. He fought hard for all of his causes, and he had a lot of money to throw around, because what most people don't understand about him was he founded, along with his wife, Castle Rock Entertainment.
Oh man, that's a pillar of 80s and 90s and early 2000s movie making.
Yeah, and Seinfeld. Seinfeld is worth a mint.
Yeah, it prints money. Yeah.
So just a few of the titles that Castle Rock was responsible for. When Harry Met Sally, Lord of the Flies, Misery, City Slickers, which did a bunch of money at the box office, Honeymoon in Vegas, Mr. Saturday Night. He loved to work with Billy Crystal, A Few Good Men, In the Line of Fire. That was Clint Eastwood, I want to say. I can't remember exactly.
That's an interesting pairing. Clint Eastwood and Rob Reiner. Right? Yeah.
Malice, City Slickers 2, Little Big League, Shawshank Redemption, Dolores Claiborne, Forget Paris, which was a rom-com that came out in 95 with Billy Crystal. As we said, Seinfeld, which started in the late 80s. The American President. These are all in the 90s. These are all Rob Reiner with his production company.
Yeah. This is all Castle Rock stuff.
Ghosts of Mississippi. Palmetto, which was a Woody Harrelson movie back in the day.
I remember that one. Yeah, that's a pretty good movie.
The Last Days of Disco. Mickey Blue Eyes, which was a failure for Hugh Grant.
Oh man, Mickey Blue Eyes. I don't know if I've seen that one.
The Green Mile.
Oh, The Green Mile. Yeah, another Stephen King. Tom
Hanks
flick. Yep.
Best in Show. There's your tie with that one. Miss Congeniality. Hearts in Atlantis. The Majestic. I could go on.
Yeah, it's too many to name. It really
too, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, everybody. I mean, whatever. Everybody has misses. The thing about him is he always played. No matter what role he was in, it was like he was kind of like a big teddy bear. You know, he just had that. He had that air around him that was like. I remember one of the things I most recently saw him in that I really liked was I don't know if you know that show New Girl with Chloe Deschanel or Zoe Deschanel.
Yeah.
He plays her dad in 11 episodes.
Okay.
He's fantastic in that show.
Well, his dad Carl was in Ocean's 11, 12, and 13, I believe.
Yeah,
and Carl was old.
Oh yeah.
And I think Rob was doing okay. Always a bigger guy. But I was watching. I fell asleep in my chair last night to the end of Spinal Tap, and I wake up and Spinal Tap 2, the opening credits are coming on. So I start. I'm like, okay, I want to see this.
Yeah.
And what struck me was, it looked great. The actors look really old, and I did not realize how old they were. Harry Shearer is born in like 43.
So he's in his 80s.
80s.
Okay.
Christopher Guest is born before 1950, and Michael McKean is born before 1950, like 47.
So they're all in their late 70s, early 80s.
And Reiner was 78.
Okay.
But man, it was fun to watch for a half hour, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And you get to catch up with all the characters. What are they doing now? And they're getting back together, and they get a drummer, and that's all I saw of it. But I'll finish watching that just to see it again, or just to see it all the way through. But I just think he had more work in him. Like, there was stuff.
Right.
He was still working. And I think when you're 78 and you love what you do and you have the power of, I can make whatever movie I want, there's some fun in that.
Yeah. And the other thing is, it doesn't seem like there was never a point where you were like, oh, Rob's starting to lose his fastball a little bit.
Not. His work is bad.
He was throwing 98 right up through everything that he'd been doing all this entire time.
Marty Scorsese's going to get a posthumous Oscar for whatever he does last, because it's still going to be good. And Reiner is kind of the same way.
Reiner's kind of the same way. I read an article. There's a good article on The Ringer. Shout out to Bill Simmons' website, The Ringer. They always have good articles on there. They had an article about Rob Reiner, and the author, and I apologize, I'm forgetting his name right now, had said something to the effect of, it's sad that this is how it ended up for Rob Reiner, because now whenever you watch anything that has to do with him, that's going to be the thing that sort of, I don't think he necessarily said that it's going to color the experience of seeing something that Rob Reiner had done, but it's something that, you think about now. And I don't know that I necessarily agree with that. I think it actually, for me, it's going to make me appreciate more going back and watching some of the great things that he'd done. And knowing that, he always had he always seemed to have a happy disposition about him. He was always he was never out there just cashing checks. He was always making good content, even if it didn't necessarily hit. It was still good stuff. No, you could see Rob Reiner on something and know you're getting something that's quality and it's going to be entertaining.
Yeah, I agree with that. The hard part about getting to this age is we have seen a lot of our guys that were, especially in our childhood, that were making things or in movies. Val Kilmer and Rob Reiner and a few others that have passed on this year. Gene Hackman, of course, died. He died weird. We say died weird if you die of natural causes. If you get murdered by your kid, we don't do that.
No, this is a tragedy, and I hope it serves as. I hope it serves a purpose. We know from the reports that there were a lot of he had drug issues, he had addiction issues, possibly like some pretty serious mental health problems.
Yeah.
I hope that if nothing else, it brings some awareness to that, because we don't think about that as much. I hope it doesn't just become this gruesome Hollywood murder that we end up with a 3-episode series about on Netflix.
I don't
Like
think
that's
we
not
had
the point here. We need to take these kinds of things and separate it from, you know, the activism that he was involved in and the things that he did in his career. Let's also take something away from it that can be useful in the sense that it brings awareness to the kinds of things that it's everyday families deal with these kinds of things too.
Right. Yeah. This is that thing that if you're dealing with a mental health issue in your household or in your family or an extended family, a neighbor or whatever, then, you know, they're not alone. You're not alone. It happens to everybody. And unfortunately, in the Reiner household, it was so serious it ended up with their deaths. So,
Man.
I don't want to belabor too much, but
No.
Go watch a Rob Reiner film this weekend.
Yes, please do.
okay.
Go watch Spinal Tap, for God's sake.
Spinal Tap too.
It's great.
I'm going to go catch up with it. And it's been a while since I've seen The Princess Bride. So I'm going to go catch up with that too. But anyway, catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Go to our YouTube and subscribe. We're trying to grow that subscriber base. Also, our shorts are on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, and on YouTube Shorts as well. So go hit that subscribe button, like our podcasts.
Also, the email address, betsmalllosesmall@gmail.com if you want to just send us some notes. You know,
Hate mail.
I noticed this week that we had a few more positive comments.
Yay.
on our well, yay.
Do
but
better, though.
Dude, like, come on. The positive comments are nice, but it doesn't give us anything to fire back on. So,
do better.
Do a little bit worse.
Except for the Rob Reiner stuff.
Yeah, don't touch that stuff, man. Yeah.
All right, let's wrap it.
Think we're good?
We're good.
We got it. All right. We'll see you next week.